As I stated before, males are perfectionists and they believe in the ideal. They believe in perfection. And the thing about perfection is there's no one that is perfect. So they struggle with living a life that seems imperfect to them. Because everything has to be ideal. Everything has to go a certain way. People have to be a certain way. My husband has to be this way. My wife needs to be this way. The kids need to be this way. Work should be this way. And when it is not, we begin to see discontentment in the male. There are people who have high standards because of this perfectionism.
That's right.
And they have standards for everything and for everyone. Especially themselves. They're very hard when it comes to high standards. They have high standards for everything. So when they walk into the room, it needs to be to their standard.
It's to their taste.
To their taste.
They like nice things.
Like nice things. Right? And extremely hard on themselves, and they are because things don't measure up, they are extremely critical and very judgmental. I know y'all, hold on, because I know this is hard. It's going to get a bit harder. But they are very judgmental.
This is part of their perfectionism.
This is a part of their perfectionism.
Because it doesn't measure up, they judge it.
Yes. And so they suffer from insecurity as well. Because the standard that they've set for everyone else, no one else can fit, and even they can't either. And so they can see how they've missed the mark all the time. So they can work and they do an exceptional job, but they're never content with their product or what they do. So somebody like Michael Jackson, who has this beautiful catalog of music, will tell you, well, I'm not really happy with that. You know, to us, it's like,
we love it.
Beat is just like Mike. And Mike is like, I don't like that. That is the male. They're very judgmental. They're very critical. They see what is wrong before they'll ever say something nice. So the reason why the males had a hard time responding to you is because they're picking up the imperfections and they were looking at that first.
Yeah, they were waiting for the imperfection. We should have switched it.
No, the thing is, as you were talking, they're critiquing. And so the critiquing keeps them from being able to compliment.
Express, okay.
So the thing about the male is that they're very judgmental, very critical, and they see what's wrong first before they'll ever say something nice. So they don't give compliments. They take compliments, but they don't give compliments.
Unless they're sanguine.
Unless they have a sanguine in them, that kind of balances them. You know,
they're pessimistic.
Yes, they're very pessimistic and they're very negative because they're overthinkers and they are very analytical. They break things all the way down and they analyze every single thing. They think and ponder on things for a long time. And to the point that it takes them to dark spaces and it can affect their moods. So the one thing about the male is they are very moody because they're sensitive. They overanalyze, and sometimes it will take them into a deep, dark space, and they find themselves caught up in anxiety, depression, negative thinking, negative speaking, and it's because they're very inward people. And because they're so inward and they're always thinking, they're really self-absorbed people. They think about themselves a little bit too much. Sometimes they think everything is about them. And sometimes have this self-pity victim mind. I know y'all. I know. Hugs, okay? I'm giving you a virtual hug right now.
Mami, what do you mean by self-victimization?
They always see that, they always think it's about the attacks are towards them personally. That the person who didn't answer the phone, they didn't answer it because I did something to them.
It's not because they are busy with their children.
No, that's not the first thing.
The first thing is that you did something to them.
So,
hey, Mels,
yeah, it's a hard life. With the male as well, when it comes to their sensitivity, You will see it's hard for, well, I don't want to say it's hard. She said, please give solutions already. Refine me, oh Lord. Oh, girl. Yeah, we'll get to that. Whenever they're very self-absorbed, and sometimes they're victim-minded. Self-pity is a big thing for them, for us, because we kind of just see things from our lens and our perspective. Okay. So we're not able to see outside of ourselves. We just see it how we see it, and it's not always positive. Sometimes it takes having a conversation for someone to shed light and say, is this really what is true? Is this true, or this is just how you're perceiving it? They're very sensitive. If you're friends with a male, males are so sensitive that if you look at them crazy, if you talk, the tone is off, if you say the wrong word, don't chew. You chew is the problem.
Not chew, but chew.
Don't look at them wrong. Don't have small conversations
on the side
while they're there.
They can feel
Don't leave them out of situations because they are sensitive to everything around them. Wow. And so you will find that you will be friends with a male in 1 second, and the next minute y'all are having a conversation. What had happened? What did that mean? Or you'll see a distance because they're very, very sensitive. They are people who words are important. So how you speak to them, the tone you speak to them is important because it can hurt them deeply. You can say something just out of anger and they will hold on to what you have said for a very, very long time.
Hey, melancholy.
And the thing about it is, and I don't know if I can explain it, the words you say, especially people who they love, it goes really deep into their heart. Like their heart is in.
Your heart is in there, baby.
I don't know how to say it. It's like the heart is attached to your word. And so when you say something, they feel it. It's very deep. They're very connected, especially to people who are important to them. Arthur Louisa said they feel unloved. Yes, a lot of males feel unloved because they feel rejected a lot. Rejection is the thing for the male. They always feel that people don't accept them the way that they are. And so when they walk into a room, if they don't feel that everyone appreciates them, then you'll find them become very insecure, feel rejected, and that rejection, again, remember, these are people who get very inward. That rejection then becomes about them. That when it becomes about them, then they begin to feel that they're unloved. And so then they go into a place of isolation. So one thing about the males, they like to be alone. They want to be by themselves. They don't really go out with a lot of people because sometimes, depending on who the group is, they may not naturally feel accepted by them, and they choose to be by themselves. Now, just to jump back to when a male has a project or something, a task, an idea, God has put a ministry and something before them, they overthink. And so they think about everything that can happen, everything that needs to happen to get the job done. And then they think about everything that will go wrong with the project. And then they end up talking themselves out of doing things. They tend to not follow through with a lot of the ideas because they have what we call analysis paralysis. Sometimes people
paralysis.
Yeah, so you analyze to the point that you're paralyzed by it and you no longer get it done. And so sometimes if you're someone who has a lot of things incomplete in your life, it's mostly because of the analysis paralysis. You've beat down the idea, you've broken it down to 42 steps. Step 39, I gotta go talk to this person. I can't do this.
So never mind.
Next, put it down. Let's come up with a new idea. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Yeah, that's
it's too hard.
It's too hard.
Let's hear from the melancholy because this is
Am
all
I telling
new.
The truth?
This is all new to me.
Yes. Thank you. They're cheering me on. Yes, males unite.
Males unite. But what I find,
it's like walking on eggshells around them. Definitely. You don't know when they're gonna flip. You don't know what's wrong with them. Because 2 minutes ago they were happy. The next minute they got an attitude, and you're just like, what happened? That's them. But you have to love us. And that's the part of us that we don't really like, but we need people to accept.
And love you
and just love us.
Even when you're
we're
moody,
fine.
even when you're moody, baby.
Even when we're moody, we're fine too, though. If you're saying you are so fine, there is nothing wrong with you. In 2 seconds, you'll be laughing and talking.
That's right.
In 2 seconds, you'll be a whole different person. What else can I say about the males? They are very submissive in relationships. And for children, children who are males are very connected to people who affirm them.
Absolutely.
And that may be a teacher, that may be a sibling, that may be a relative, it might be their friends. And you will find that because they feel accepted to those around those people, they are more loyal to them, maybe even more than their parents. And so when you see a teenager growing up and they're extremely attached to their friends and you're telling them things, hey, you don't need to hang out with this person because they're a bad influence, the male will still stay in these relationships because they feel accepted and safer there. And so sometimes in these relationships, and this is for adults as well, they end up being abused emotionally, sexually. A lot of people who, and psychologically, a lot of people who have been molested have been males. And it's a lot to do with their loyalty to people and the fact that they don't want to mess things up. And so they keep a lot of things to themselves. They won't say anything. And so you want to make sure that with the male, especially if they're a child, that they feel safe with you. They know that you are a safe place, that you accept them the way they are, that they're welcome to be themselves. Find ways to bring them, to let them feel that all of them, the good and the bad, is accepted, so that they won't try to find loyalties outside of the home. Another thing about